All right. I have a little bit of time to kill here. So, figured, you know what? Let's record something. And I have some ideas that I want to do at some point, but the problem is that I feel like they're going to take a while, and I kind of want this one to be a little shorter. Because a lot of these videos recently have been trending towards like an hour. That one that was like 90 minutes. Holy fuck. Um, ugh. But anyways, I was thinking that maybe I just talk about something a little more simple, something I don't have a lot to say about. So I was like, you know what, I know something I could talk about, which is it's still an interesting topic, which is being a little less introverted than I was before, which is hard to really change. Like, you kind of can't just wake up one day and say, you know what, I'm going to stop being an introvert. Like, it kind of doesn't work that way, because it's kind of just your personality. I mean, that's... What the fuck? Is it a bee? Is there a bee? It's like ramming into my car. What the fuck? Or is it a... I'm so confused. What the hell? I can't tell if that was a leaf or that was a bee. Like a giant... Oh my god, it is. Oh my god. That's a giant ass bee. It's like trying to ram into my car. What the fuck? I'm locking the doors. What the... What the fuck? That was a big ass bee. Oh my god. Oh, my windows are up, right? Jesus. What the hell? Why is this guy like hate criming me? That's a way to start a video, isn't it? God, I was just trying to talk about being less introverted, and this motherfucker is trying to fight me. Oh my god. So anyways, back to back to where I was. What the fuck just happened? I've been trying to become a little less introverted recently, which it's not been the easiest thing for sure, because yeah, I mean, it's tough. It's not easy to um not easy to talk to people, I guess, especially now, because I feel like now we have become more isolated than ever, especially like after the pandemic and everything. And so it's kind of made it harder to be social with people. And there's something a lot of people have said that I do kind of find that I agree with, especially now I'm working, is that just people are always on edge, and it's a lot harder to have social interactions with people because everybody just constantly feels like they're so fucking on edge. Like, any little thing could just set them off and make them angry. And it's a hard thing, because sometimes it feels like when you talk with people, you're just kind of stepping into a minefield and hoping you don't fucking say the wrong thing, and then, oh, you said the bad thing, you know, now you've been labeled as a bad person in their mind. That sort of thing. It is a little scary. And yeah, I honestly, I don't know how we can really fix it. I don't know. I guess we just got to take away the phones or something. That's what all the old people say. Although, honestly, like, there is maybe a little bit of truth to that, but I think it kind of goes beyond that too. I think to be honest, a lot of it really stems from social media too. I feel so much calmer since I've stopped using a lot of social media. It just feels like I kind of get to have my own thoughts and opinions. I don't have other people influencing me on how to think and all that. And I don't have ads shoved in my face of things and constantly reminded about controversies or whatever. I just fucking get to live my life. It's cool. But I feel like it is so much harder to socialize than it ever has been. And I have been for like a long time, I really just was not able to really socialize properly, which I guess, it kind of happens when you're more of like a nerd. You don't have a ton of friends. It's not like I was really bullied or anything, but it's more so that I just didn't really talk to many people that much. But over the years, I kind of slowly broke out of my shell, but never really managed to fully do it until recently, which goes back to that one 2.5 hour video that I mentioned, or that I did a while ago, where I talked about that one moment where just everything changed, which is when I talked to that girl, which partially happened because of another time where I had an opportunity to talk with another girl, and I missed out on that opportunity, and I was kind of kicking myself after, because I realized that maybe she was trying to like talk to me or something, and I just kind of kept walking, and I felt bad. So that was partially something that motivated me for the future, to kind of make me realize like maybe I need to try and put a little more effort into that. It's not easy to do, as I said. And especially like, I feel like a lot of the times where I would end up meeting friends, it would be because they usually approached me, not the other way around. There's like a bunch of people that I met in Pokemon Go too, where it wasn't me that went like, "Hey, are you playing Pokemon Go or something?" It was always the other way around. It was always them asking me like, "Hey, are you playing Pokemon Go?" And then they'd be like, "Oh yeah, I'm this guy," or whatever. And I never really did the inverse of that. Which is just because it was hard to do, I guess, ultimately. But I guess it's one of those things where you really have to be able to have the confidence to do it. So I don't know what, my mind's like completely just going blank right now. I don't really, trying to think of what else to even say. See, I'm still struggling a little bit, because, oh man, I hate, there's these dog walkers, and they walk in the road, and sometimes they stop like right there, like right next to my car, or like close to my car, because their dog is taking a shit, and it just kind of feels awkward. So I'm probably gonna cut most of that part out. I don't know, maybe I leave it in. Maybe I just leave it in, to be honest. I think that's an example of kind of me still being a little introverted, because I don't know, I still have trouble kind of doing this stuff publicly, at least more publicly, because I'm like out here in my car talking to myself basically. And it's just hard to do sometimes when it's like you have some fucking person that's right there that you know is going to be judging you. Maybe I shouldn't care, because it's like I'm probably never going to see that dude again in my life, or I'm probably never going to have a meaningful interaction with that dude in my life. But maybe I just should Maybe I should really try to not care about that. I guess that's kind of a thing. That was always a big thing for me too, why I was so introverted, is because I just kind of care. Sometimes I care too much about what people think of me, which is dumb. Especially because a lot of these people, they, you know, their opinions of you might be unfounded or not based on a lot of things, so. But yeah, I I guess back to what I was saying before. When I talked to that girl, that was like the big kind of confidence moment for me. And I don't know how it would have went if I talked to her and she just kind of was avoidant, and I felt like the interaction didn't really go the right way. But because it did go the right way, because I got to talk to her more, and as I mentioned in that other video, that 2-hour video, I, it kind of kept evolving, because at first it was, let me try to talk to her after days of mustering up the courage to do that. It went from let me try to talk to her to let me try to see if I can, add her on Discord so I have a way to communicate with her or something. And then it went to let me try to talk to her more frequently. And then it went to let me try to take a walk with her and see if she's cool with that. And that sort of thing. That stuff is, to me, pretty important to keep kind of doing that. And I feel like in recent times I was kind of having some struggles in regard to the introvertedness, because it kind of started to creep back in a little bit. I wasn't making as many of these videos, and even like at work, there was a bunch of people that I felt like I was not really socializing very well with. Like there were days where people would be like, hey, how's it going? And I would just kind of be like, hi, and not really say much. But I've been trying to make a little bit more of an effort to put myself out there and talk to people more, and not just kind of be this blank slate. I still kind of am. That's like the one kind of big problem I have. Like, I feel like everybody else in my department at work, when they interact with the customer, they are very themselves. They, like this is one guy, and he has these little phrases that he has, and he has little nicknames and stuff for people in our department, and he'll always give people a slice if they want it, and he'll say bon appetit or something like that. And that, like, I feel like everybody kind of has a little personality like that. Like another one of my coworkers, he talks a lot to people about kind of, I guess, current events or things like that, or maybe sports or whatever. There's another guy who kind of talks about his life and where he's been and that sort of thing. And for me, it's kind of just very blank slate, basic. It feels like there's not a lot of personality that I have. That's ultimately the problem that I end up facing with myself, because it's like, I don't know how to make myself more interesting. It's kind of my problem. Which I guess I have been doing a little bit, but I guess it's more of I'm not really showcasing that. That's, I guess, more of what it is. But I have at least been trying to talk to more people, which it helps when you're working, because when I wasn't working, I mean, who the fuck am I gonna talk to? I'm gonna talk to some random people at the park or whatever. It's much easier when you're working and you can just there's no end to people because you have coworkers that you see frequently, and there's obviously frequent customers too, and then just customers. So you get to know a lot more people that way, and makes me glad I'm kind of working in that sense, because I feel like I really needed more of that, especially because when I'm not going to be seeing a bunch of people for Pokemon Go, because when the game will inevitably kind of slow down a little bit in the winter, it would be nice to still have a place I can go and feel like I can talk to people, So that's a good thing. But I've been really trying to put more effort into that. So, like, for example, when I see people, I just kind of say, like, hey, and have a quick little conversation. Like I did that yesterday. Because it's like I don't want to bother people too. That's kind of my thing. I hate feeling like a burden, or that I'm bothering people or annoying people or whatever. Something along those lines. I do not like that feeling at all. And so I try to avoid that feeling, and it's not easy to kind of talk to people in that way, because sometimes it feels like, for example, there was one coworker that I was talking to, and I didn't know if she was doing something. I didn't know if she was in the middle, she was busy doing something. So I wasn't sure if I should bother her, but I was like, I'm just going to say hi, because, I should do that. And it was kind of good I did, because I didn't really get a chance to talk to her after that. I didn't get a chance to say goodbye. So, what the hell is this squirrel doing? Anyways, though. Yeah, I have been trying to put my best foot forward doing that. It's not easy. But something you kind of got to do, because if you don't, you are going to be struggling a lot later on. I feel like it is really important to get better at socializing and to be able to initiate, especially. That's, I think, the part that was always the big problem for me, was being able to initiate. So, but I still think there's more to do, because as I mentioned, I think not having such a blank slate personality and actually having a bit of personality in myself would go a long way, ultimately. And I guess it's not even just that I have a blank slate personality, but it's more that I just don't showcase it, like I said. I feel like a lot of people at work probably don't even really know very much about me. I mean, there's people who didn't even know my age, and there's one coworker, as I think I mentioned in that other video, where she was like, "Oh, so you're still in high school, right? Or like you're finishing high school?" And I was like, "No, I'm way past high school." And she's like, "What? How old are you?" And I told her 25. She's like, "What? I would have never guessed that." But like, people don't really know things about me. And I think that partially makes it harder for me to talk with them, because they don't know that much about my life. I mean, to be fair, this is one of the things I will say about working in a deli, is that there really isn't a lot of socialization you get to actually do. Because, for example, like, we have people that are doing, like cashier jobs or whatever, or grocery jobs or whatever. And they don't have that sort of issue, because they have a lot more free time, and they kind of get to roam around places. They don't just stay in one place. Whereas the whole time I'm just in the fucking deli. All I do is just stay in the deli the whole day. I don't really get time to go talk to people in other places. And that aspect of my job kind of sucks a little bit, but it's something that you just gotta kind of deal with and get used to. And I don't know um I don't know if I'll really get too many chances to socialize more, but I'm doing what I can to do that. And it takes a lot of time to really get better with that stuff. So try not to be like too hard on myself about it, I guess. But I'm also trying to push myself to do more when I can. So I still feel like I have a lot to learn, but I'm definitely improving, I would say. And I just have to keep trying to take the initiative. It's not easy, but I'm trying to make it easier on myself in the long term. Because I think that's ultimately just how we get places in life. It's not about just waiting for an opportunity to arise. It's about being able to seize that opportunity when it comes and take advantage of it, which is something I want to talk about another day as well. That topic, especially because of things that have happened to me recently that have kind of made me regret not taking my opportunities or not really making the most of my opportunities when I had them. But I'll save that for another time because I think that's a longer topic that I'm going to have to take more time to delve into. I think this is probably where I can end this. I don't really have much else to say. Just kind of talking a little bit about being introverted. It's something that kind of sucks. But you just have to be able to deal with it. So, I'm trying to think. I don't really think there's anything else that I need to say. And I think I'd like to get home because I have to go to work in an hour and 15 minutes. 115. Every time I see the numbers 115, it's just I just can't stop thinking about it. Oh man, I love that song. But yeah, I'm gonna end things here so I can go start getting ready for work and maybe trying to upload something. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I guess that's it.